Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rock Album Review channel and the Rock Album Review from the new record from Weezer that's called OK Human. OK Human is Weezer's 14th studio album, the follow-up to 2019's The Black Album, and this is the first of two Weezer albums that we're getting in 2021. Coming out in May, we're finally getting Van Weezer, which is the big stadium rock album that they've been promoting for the last 2 years or so. They've already put out like 3 singles from that record. That's going to be coming out in May. But right now we have this new album called OK Human. We knew that Weezer was recording it. We knew they were doing some strings at Abbey Road. We knew that they were working on a little bit more of an orchestral poppy album, but we didn't know when it was coming out. So they did a surprise release this past, I think about 2 weeks ago on January 15th or so, and they announced their new song, All My Favorite Songs, and that OK Human was coming out in just 2 weeks on January the 29th, and I have to say, it's fantastic. Now, I might be dating myself here, but I'm a long-time Weezer fan, going back 25 plus years. I got into them when I was in high school, and I became obsessed with the Blue Album and Pinkerton. And I consider Weezer to be what I call one of my ride or die bands, which means that I'm gonna stick with them no matter what, through thick and thin. It's like your favorite sports team. No matter what kind of music they put out, no matter what record they put out, I stick with them, and I've proudly stuck with them for the better part of 20 years now. And I'm into every aspect of the Weezer sound, whether that be the vintage old school Weezer sound that we hear on albums like Blue Album and Pinkerton, or even more recent albums like Everything Will Be Alright in the End and the White Album, or some of their more experimental work like Pacific Daydream or the Black Album. Whatever they do, I'm ride or die with Weezer for life. And I gotta say, with this album, OK Human, I continue to ride or die with Weezer. When I first took a listen, I didn't know quite what to think of the album because it's a little bit different, and maybe the melodies, although they are catchy, it was a little bit harder to grab onto them when I first listened. But last night I popped on the headphones, I really focused and listened to OK Human, and I just can't believe what Rivers and Co. have done on this album. They continue to branch out and do different things. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Pacific Daydream album from 2017, which was a much poppier affair than we're used to hearing with Weezer. A lot of fans do want that big stadium rock fuzzy sound that we hear on albums like Blue Album and Pinkerton. But this one is really, really cool. And I gotta say, my highlights on this record for me were All My Favorite Songs. I think that's a very catchy first single. Alu Gobi has a little bit of a goofy melody, but I did really dig that song as well. Playing My Piano was cool. Grapes of Wrath, I think, is going to be another really popular song from this album. And then there was also some more low-key songs on this album that I really liked, like Screens, Numbers, Bird with a Broken Wing. There's a lot to enjoy on this album. Even if there aren't those big guitars, you should definitely check out OK Human because it's a really good record. In terms of instrumentation, this might be Weezer's most interesting album yet. I think I saw Rivers mention that there's absolutely no electric guitar on this album, which is strange for a Weezer record, but it does work. The strings on this record were recorded at Abbey Road, and it does have that really lush, Beatles-esque Abbey Road feel to it. I'm not sure what the other Weezer guys played on this. Obviously, there's bass, there's drums, there's piano, but if there's no electric guitar, what other instruments are being dovetailed in here? Obviously, there might be some synthesizers, some other sorts of instruments, but I'd really like to see maybe a documentary clip on YouTube on the making of this album and how the band put it together, because I think it would be very interesting to see how they recorded this, and the instrumentation is awesome, and it's Beatlesque. As a huge Beatles fan, that is a gigantic win for me on OK Human. Another song I really like on this album is called La Brea Tar Pits. I was surprised to see that this is the last song on the album because I think this might be the catchiest song that Weezer have done in a long, long time, and I was kind of disappointed to see that it was placed at the bottom of the record, but still a super strong song. The only downside I would say of this record was that it took me a little bit to get into it. Like I was saying, like I popped on the headphones. I really had to kind of listen to it to kind of get into the melodies, which is good because some of the best records take time to get into. They're not going to hit you right off the bat. It took me a little bit to get into it, and I would say it's not quite as immediate as some of the other material that I've heard from Weezer over the last little while. Obviously, we've heard those songs from Van Weezer. End of the Game might be one of my favorite Weezer rock tracks in a long, long time. I love the beginning of the end from the Bill and Ted soundtrack. So it took a little bit for me to get into this record. It wasn't quite as immediate, but I think there's a greater reward for listeners. If you don't dig something off the bat, it might end up being one of your favorite albums of all time. Overall, I would give OK Human, the new album from Weezer, an 8 out of 10. It was very unexpected to get a new album from Weezer right off the bat in 2021, so very pleased to have this album and to add it over to the CD shelf over here. I'm going to have to make some room in the Weezer section, which is right around here, the Foo Fighters section. So very much looking forward to OK Human becoming part of my my CD collection, and the new album Van Weezer coming out in May. And that's the cool thing about Weezer, is that if you're not into this new album, this OK Human album, you'll probably be into Van Weezer when it comes out in 2021. And fingers crossed, with the whole COVID-19 pandemic madness, that Weezer are able to get back on the road. Maybe do that Hella Mega tour with Green Day and Fall Out Boy. Who knows? Everything's up in the air right now. But the good thing is that we have new music from Weezer. We got more new music coming out. So very much enjoyed OK Human by Weezer. It's a solid 8 out of 10 for me. And that is it for my rock album review for the new album from Weezer, OK Human. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you know the next time that we make a video. Make sure to share it with your friends. Make sure to hit that like button, and make sure to follow me on Twitter at The Walking Nick, and continue to watch things here on the Rock Album Review channel. We got some things coming up. We already have a ranking video up right now for the Foo Fighters albums. All 9 albums, I ranked them from my least favorite to favorite in anticipation of the new album Medicine at Midnight, which is coming out this Friday. February the 5th, we'll be doing a rock album review on that as well, so make sure you stick around for the channel to check out that. And that is it for me. I'm Nick Sino. This is Rock Album Review, and we'll see you next time.